now that I'm finally able to watch the Game of Thrones episode. It was okay. Honestly, they did a pretty basic job. They kind of stole the Lord of the Rings battle a little bit, but whatever. Let's move on now. Let's talk about something interesting. Let's talk about how I was right about this whole thing. Okay. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that even the people who are doing Game of Thrones, they even admitted that Arya had no specific role whatsoever. Like I told my girlfriend from the beginning, they just kept. She was a protected person, unbelievable, and no one else was protected. Think about that. No one else is really protected. So why is it that she's protected? Guess what? I already knew it. Protected from the beginning. Guess what? They say that she was a mythical character this whole time, and they finally just decided to give her the purpose right now. They admit that at the end if you actually go watch those credits thing. So I actually forgot to mention that in this whole thing because I got lost on how they suck you in because that really pisses me off. But yes, they admit she's just a mythical character. She was useless and she was protected this whole time. That's it. And they just now decided to give her that role. Think about it. Most people don't realize. Look at how old Game of Thrones is. Okay, this whole liberalism infection didn't set in until recently. People don't even understand this aspect. It wasn't. Oh, I explained this to my girlfriend. Right, this is what they like to do. They do 1 or 2 seasons that are amazing or super good, and they leave everything out. And then by the third or fourth season, it doesn't matter what it is. They did it with food. They did it with, just hobbies. They did it with whatever. Doesn't matter. They suck you in. I've explained this before. They suck you in on some bullshit. Okay, they suck you in, and then they turn the message around. They start feeding the propaganda. They start feeding the BS. They start ruining the story. They start infecting it with their garbage. Unbelievable. This happens to so many shows. This happened to so many. This is why I gave up on TV growing up. I got so sick and tired of that fact. And you thought, you thought Netflix survived for so long, right? For so long. But then once they get those people in there, it just happens right away. Why does that work like that? What is that? That should be the ultimate proof that these people are evil. They want to just turn you on your head. They just want to infect you with an evil message. And then on top of that, it's how does that work? How do the writers there, right? How do the writers there from, let's say, the first season or the second season, how do they go from writing a decent show to a full-on liberal? And is it the orders? Is it the way the contracts are set up? Remember, we've been doing a lot of research into the contracts right now. So apparently, if you can just word anything you want in there, then with some kind of reason, then you can have it in there. Unbelievable. So I wonder what kind of reason do they have that that you can't talk bad about Israel? We have free speech here in America. Let's even use this example since we'll talk about free speech and the government side. See, Ilhan Omar and what everyone did, that's technically against the First Amendment. Those people down there in the Supreme Court too, passing that anti-Semitism bill, that's against the First Amendment. I know people understand that, but why is it that the Jews are protected that way? Doesn't that make any sense at all? Everyone else is kind of protected. They have different tiers of protection, but there's two certain individuals who are at the top, and I'm going to tell you, they all come from the sand drama environment. They're protected, right? So sand drama is protected. Why is it that the sand drama is protected? Doesn't anyone find that strange? See, you could attack everything else, but the moment you go after sand drama, that's it. It doesn't matter. You either have to be on their side or there's no side at all. Isn't that weird? And then it's the other side just wants to kill the other side. So you can't support either side. That's why I just call it sand drama. Because this is just 1,000-year-old drama. I mean, you heard it in Netanyahu's speech 3,000 years ago. King David established Jerusalem for all those people. You know, King Solomon built their temple. Built their temple. Built their temple. But yeah, it's unbelievable. So you can see where the King Cyrus made a declaration that said all the Jews could go back to their homeland. I mean, just think about how ancient this drama is, and it's still infecting our modern. You still have people trying to wrap their head around this. You have people still trying to like promote or protect one side. The real solution to this is just to ignore it, right? It's not American. That's the real aspect of this. The deeper I go, it's just beyond un-American. It's not American. You could always go back to the reason on the Barbary pirates. Maybe Jefferson. I mean, not Jefferson. Who dealt with the Barbary pirates? I forget right now. Oh man, I need to look that up again. It's time for a refresher. That's what that means. But anyway, we're gonna go on and deal with that. So whoever dealt with the Barbary pirates, maybe they already knew. Was it Adams who dealt with the Barbary pirates? I forget. See, now it's going to bother me until I actually search. But anyway, the person who dealt with them probably already knew that these people were into some dumb stuff. Let's think about that. Maybe they already were. Okay, let's experience this for a second. You could just take, it doesn't matter who it is. At a certain point before, 1913? All of our forefathers and leaders were, accomplished people, despite whether you like their politics or what they did. They were all accomplished people. That's the difference here. Is this why, they were able to debate and actually kind of have conversations, find it strange like that? But let's think about this. They were accomplished people, and you know what else we saw? They were kind of like sailors, explorers. They weren't afraid to go to strange places. Just think of it, nowhere was safe back then. So just to have a mindset of wanting to explore the world at that moment in time means like you were looking for the next best thing. You were trying to advance your mindset. You were trying to advance your way of thinking. You were trying to advance yourself. Humanity was advancing. Those people on that ship that came over here, think about it, just sailed on over here. All those people who were like, King George was like, oh, I don't want to bother you guys anymore. I don't need you. You guys want to leave? You guys want to leave? Go ahead. We don't care. You want to sail into oblivion? That's what they thought. Because your average person is like today. They're not enlightened or anything. They don't believe any of that stuff. So they just say whatever. And then when something actually happens, guess what? Once you start producing, guess what? Once you start having an economy, guess what? Throughout all the history, you can look at it. The name changes, but it's the same demon. It's the same entity. Whenever there's like a sprout of individualism or a sprout of freedom, just a little bit somewhere, the demon comes in and infects. The demon comes in and grabs it. The demon, Satan, you already know, ruins everything. Can't have no peace on earth. Just think about that concept for a second.